My name is Megan, and I am the Director of Consulting Services. I have been managing the talent for 5 years. So any company, even McDonald's or Walmart, they all have a set of standards and core values that they live by and that you do not compromise. So when you're looking for candidates, you want to make sure that you are looking for people who align to those values and who meet those standards. You do not want to compromise those, otherwise when your company wants to shift into a different direction, that person is not going to be able to grow with you. They're going to have a completely different perspective on things and they are not going to be able to pivot with your company. So there are different ways to approach it. So there are questions that you can formulate to ask the candidate to see if they align with your core values, or you can just kind of naturally watch their character traits. So for example, if one of your core values are punctuality, and that is something that is it is a no-brainer for you, it's a deal breaker, and your candidate shows up 5 to 10 minutes late for that interview, it's a no-go. You can't compromise. Even if their entire interview is perfect, if punctuality is just a deal breaker, it's a no-go. You can't hire them. There have been a couple times where I have gone against some of our core values and hired outside of those because maybe I was in a pinch, or I thought it would be the right thing to do, or maybe it'll work, and it never did. I had an example of where I asked a candidate, tell me about a time that you demonstrated a deep sense of care for a coworker, and all their answer was, oh, I demonstrate care every day. Well, I'm looking for something a little more specific. I went ahead and hired that candidate, and I wound up having to let them go 6 months later. And 6 months is not a good chunk of time to develop and grow an employee. So at the end of the day, I should have just stuck with our core values and our standards rather than trying to go outside of those. If someone has no clue how to come up with their core values, don't go to Google. That's the first thing I'm going to tell you, is do not Google what should my core values be, because those are not your values. You want to think, when I first started this business, what was the most important thing to me that when running this business? And you really have to sit down, and it might take 6 weeks. It isn't something that you're going to be able to do in 1 hour, because you want to be true to it and you want to live by it. So you really want to sit down and say, what are the non-negotiable things that makes this business function and makes my business function and separates me from other businesses? Not what's going to look really pretty on a wall or what's going to sound nice on Facebook. No, you want to say, what am I aligned to and what is going to make my business thrive? It's kind of funny to say that hiring is like dating, but when I would go on dates, I would almost treat them like interviews, because I have a certain standard I'm looking for. Everyone has certain standards they're looking for in their relationship, and they don't want to compromise that, because if you marry that person, you don't want to be stuck with that person. And so when you're hiring somebody, it's the same thing. And when you are looking for things in them, you do not want to compromise your standards or your values, or you're going to be unhappy as an employer. And so at the end of the day, the two go hand in hand. So when you're interviewing someone, you want to think, does this meet my standards? Does this meet my values? And if your answer is no, don't go with it. If agents are looking to get some more answers on how to hire for their team or any kind of hiring questions in general, they can leave some comments in the section below, and we would be more than happy to address those and come up with some content for that.